Good evening, viewership. I am the Bardman, and you're here with the infamous gentleman, with me, the Bard.
I fucking knew he was going to do that.
I did not.
How? How did you not see this coming? We need me, the Doctor, and...
Me, the Sprite.
We've got, but the Bard is in the driving seat for once. Me and the Sprite are just here for our witty commentary.
Well, I'm here to be obnoxious.
Anything you want to say before we launch into it, Bard?
Several things, actually, but I think that we could spend hours just talking. All of us can confidently talk about Batman for about a million years.
And we're going to. Boy, are we, have you signed up for that, viewer.
I'm so excited, but there was someone in the comments recently who said, oh, what games does the Bard actually like? This. I love this. This might be my all-time favourite game, and I'm really looking forward to this.
I'm sure you'll hate it by the end, don't worry.
Oh, I definitely won't. This is... I've done a little bit messing around, and I'm reacquainting myself, but I used to be freakishly good at it, and I'm sure it will depress me how far I have fallen in the decade since I've not been playing the game. But we'll let the opening cutscene play, because it's rad. It's a solid opener. Behold, the moody, brooding skies of Gotham. I know we said we wouldn't talk over this, but there's not a lot happening for the first 12 seconds.
This is a Sprite edit, so she can decide how much she wants to cut.
And it's building tension, guys. Shh.
Gotham does look good. I love it. It's all neon and rain and steam and grime, which is exactly how Gotham should look.
Detective Noir.
Yeah. I don't remember this at all.
Yeah.
I thought it just started in the asylum.
Hitchhikers maybe escaping patience, which is just... Why would anyone go for a Sunday drive around Arkham Asylum and pick up a hitchhiker? Surely it's superfluous.
There's a lot of stuff in Gotham where generally, surely people would be used to this by now. Yes, the cake has arrived for my wedding from Crazy Clown Catering. I'll just crack this open. Oh my god, it's full of criminals. Who would have seen this in Gotham where this happens literally every day?
Because we're getting the Batman view where we see all of this. Gotham is a massive city. Most people will never interact with any of those.
I think you can go back and forth on how big you think Gotham is. Some people think there's 20 million people in Gotham.
Well, if it's supposed to be New York, then yeah. Though the name comes from a small village near Nottingham.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Rad opening shot.
Why does it have the ears? Fuck, the ears look dumb on the Batsuit.
I like the ears in the Batsuit.
Is that strange?
No.
Okay.
Love what you've done with the place.
That's Warden Shop to you. Bowles!
Yo, Frankie! How's the wife and kids? You miss me?
Shut it, clown!
A lot of people here really want to talk to you.
Really? I don't mind walking. Not so tight, boys. You'll crease the suit.
Get that filthy degenerate out of here.
Warden, something's not right. I'm going with him.
Technically not a cutscene, but we are just going to be walking forwards for a bit.
Not this. And I'm guessing that, at full beans you'll walk faster than them. And oh no, actually, at least it's. Oh no.
At full beans, I would scream.
I hate
past
it.
them.
And then you got to hold your thumb in the awkward gammy half position. It's like, just make this a cutscene. It doesn't trick me into thinking I'm playing the game.
Just so we're clear, this is a game about being in an asylum, and you're complaining about something that's driving you a little bit nuts.
Hey. There's so much to start. I don't even know where to start talking about this. I'm already so excited about it. But for the viewerships who haven't maybe been aware or haven't
treating like a bellend.
I know.
Sorry, continue.
For the viewership who haven't figured out, Mark Hamill of Luke Skywalker fame is the guy voicing the Joker in this game, and he is fantastic. There's so much of the game that is just Mark Hamill talking to you on a radio, and it's tremendous. He was also, of course, the guy who voiced the Joker in the 1990s Batman the Animated Series, which is
the best Batman.
It is the best Batman. It's arguably the best cartoon that anyone's ever made. I would go that far.
Counterpoint, Sprite?
There are many things which are equally good but different genres. We just happen to like Batman, so that's not a fair comparison.
I agree to disagree, but the Sprite and I are going to be doing a lot of that.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, cartoons-wise, I loved Pokemon growing up more than Batman, but that's hard to compare.
Tell me. Batarangs, bat claws. That smash.
He's just funny.
Yeah.
I like something that the later Batman films have kind of lost. That Joker should be funny. He should make me laugh, but in a really dark, twisted sort of way, because that's the genius of the character.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if we'll get into this, I'm sure, over time. But I'm still somewhat saddened in some ways by the legacy of Heath Ledger's Joker, that he'd cast it in a certain way, and then tragically died as part of it. Well, not as part of it, but kind of at that time. And I think that's kind of solidified that as the ultimate, definitive version of the role, is this kind of like darker thing. I think it's good work, Batman. Yeah.
Two things here to point out. So, like the writing credit was brought up. Paul Dini was one of the lead writers on Batman the Animated Series, and
cool.
in fact, many of the voice cast for this game are from Batman the Animated Series. This is what Officer Cash, who's got like a connection with Killer Croc, so much so that he's got a little hook hand because Croc bit off his hand.
That's a nice touch.
I think we're about to meet Croc. This is Dr. somebody or other who's an original character for this game. She'll be important later. Oh, sorry.
Thanks,
spoilers,
Chekhov.
Spoilers, guys.
I'm going to put this gun in this drawer and come back to it later.
Yeah, this is Warden Quincy Sharp. I think he might be a character created for the game. There's actually quite a lot of like important plot building that takes place in this opening walk through Arkham.
Quite literally an opening crawl.
Hey! Well, I can't crouch yet. I was going to crouch.
To prove a point.
So over here...
I like the design of the batsuit in this one, I must say.
Over here, yonder point, these are blackmate prisoners. These are like regular goons. Lots of whom are like henchmen to the major Batman supervillains who have been housed temporarily at Arkham. I'm sure nothing will go wrong there.
Yeah, for reference, as I say, the Bard played this game a lot. I have played like the first hour of this game, according to the time on my file, 3 and a bit years ago, and that was about it. I didn't dislike it just dropped off my radar due to various timing issues. Sprite, you've observed the whole game being played, haven't you?
Yes.
So I'm the noob here. But I say the Bard is in the driving seat for a change.
Which is like a change of pace for us. We'll see how this goes. Like,
I can just sit back and relax for a change. This never happens on recording.
You can let us know in the comments, viewership, like once a couple of these episodes have aired, like how this is working for you. Whether I'm like an inferior pilot to the Doctor's gaming ability.
Again, it depends on the game. Like,
I was going to say, right now we're not getting a good view of you, Bard, because all you're doing is walking forward at an irregular pace.
He's doing it fucking great, though. Good job, Bard.
Oh, this bit,
excellent.
This bit's fun. We should maybe like just watch this because like
Can you
it's very
smell the
atmospheric.
excitement in the air? No? Must have been one of the guards then. Croc, old boy! Is that you?
Yeah, here's Killer Croc. Who is
he's a real chungus.
Yeah, he's terrifying in this game. He's just massive.
Keep your weapons trained on it at all times.
Look at him.
Jesus Christ.
Looks angry.
Oh, that's how I feel when I used to get my brother's old Fiat 500. Decompress it. I can actually stand up to my real height.
What's it doing?
I've got your scent, Batman. I will hunt you down.
And he will later. There's a whole level about it.
Yeah, there's some real Chekhov's gun going on here.
A toy collar won't stop me from killing you, Batman. I'll rip you apart. Eat your bones.
So what's Killer Croc's deal? Is it like a genetic thing?
Yes,
or like
he has it's like a rare mutation. And like, I think at various points in the comics, he's mutated more or less depending how the artists want to portray him. So I think initially, and certainly in like things like the animated series, which this largely draws inspiration from, he's just a kind of scaly guy with sharp teeth.
Yeah.
But I think more recently in the comics, he's typically portrayed as like superhumanly strong, and he's like 12 feet tall, and he's much more like a giant alligator than just a guy with scales.
Yeah.
Not where you're going.
Like, he's one of those like Batman villains who's like a physical adversary for Batman who can
Yeah,
go toe-to-toe with him.
the Bane effect.
Although, like, well,
Slightly different.
Croc is also an idiot though. Like, he's possessed of like a base cunning, but he's not smart. Whereas Bane's meant to be like a strategic genius.
I thought I told you to stay quiet.
It's a handsome-looking game.
Yeah, we have got a HD texture pack in, so the Bard hasn't touched this game in about 10 years, so he was like, I wonder if it'll look as good as he thought. I was like, it will, but that's because I've upgraded all the textures. It's got that slight shininess that games of this era had, where everything looks a bit slippery.
Yeah.
And upgraded textures are no guarantee of quality.
No, exactly. It just means that I think a lot of the ones in this were done like they were like AI upscaled, where you basically just plug the textures in and say, you know, spit this out at 4K or whatever.
Yeah.
All patients should avoid contact with prisoners from Blackgate Prison Facility. Their presence
So why? So is Blackgate part of Arkham?
No, Blackgate's like the regular prison, I think, in Gotham, or maybe in Bloodhaven. But it's a big prison complex for regular prisoners. Bloodhaven's another town in the Batman. It's a neighbouring city to Gotham.
Of course.
What? Don't you trust me?
See, I want to talk about the game so much, but I also just want to listen to Hamill's dialogue.
Yeah.
I really like this depiction of Joker. Like, he's kind of weird and creepy looking, but he's not so cartoonish. But like, he's tall and thin. I like my Joker's tall and thin.
I like Joker's interesting and disturbed.
Is this that?
Yeah, this is it. But so's what's his face? You were just talking about him.
Alan Tudyk?
No.
Mark Hamill? Oh, not Christian Bale. Man who did it with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, that's the one.
Yes. I like his Batman. It was excellent, and I was not a fan before I saw it.
Do you mean Joker?
Long night, Jim.
Yes.
You don't like Christian Bale's Batman?
No, I do not. That's terrible, actually.
It's something people complained about in this game, that like Commissioner Gordon is swollen.
He is fucking ripped, actually, yeah.
But he's not. He's not muscular. He's just a large man.
Yeah, which I mean Gordon would be. Oh, here we go.
Right.
Hold it there. Sorry, Batman. Arkham staff only.
I assure you, if anyone's qualified, it's...
Listen, I appreciate the assistance, but he'll unsettle the more violent inmates.
I think he's talking about you, Bats. Don't be a stranger. You're always welcome here. Gotta say, it's good to be back.
You okay?
He surrendered almost without a fight. I don't like it.
At least he's back where he belongs.
You're right. This would be much worse if you just did him in, Batman.
We'll talk about the morality of like, Batman's refusal to kill at some length, I would imagine.
Alert the warden.
How did they let this happen?
We find out, don't worry.
Okay.
Joke's on you.
See what he did there?
That's a good one. I did enjoy that.
Weapons grade punning.
Honey, I'm home. Come on in.
I wonder who could be in that control chair.
Yeah.
Welcome to the madhouse, Batman. I set a trap, and you sprang it gloriously.
Mark Hamill's just having the time of his life with this.
Yeah.
Hey, fighting! Tutorialized fighting. Yay!
At least you'll be able to achieve it.
Punch. Punch.
Also, get fucked from the sprite, Jesus.
Punch. Punch.
That was a kick. Whoa, that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, he just kind of zips around. I mean, he's Batman.
Yeah, this is very Shadow of Mordor. Well, Shadow of Mordor is very this, I know, but...
Master of every fighting style known to man. Apparently that included sick backflips.
Of course it did.
Fight me. Ha!
So that fight scene from the first scene in Highlander with all the backflips.
Oh, the ridiculous quantity of backflips.
And I love how there are just bats around you.
Correctional facility with a combined
Bring it.
sentence of
What you got?
752 years. Ding, ding,
Have you still got your batarang bottle opener, Sprite?
Yes, somewhere.
Come on.
Gotta run.
Oh, they're teaching you to counter now.
Yeah.
That's all very cool.
Which I think I actually have to do to move.
Yeah, it'll be a bit... I don't know what I was going to say.
I gotta break my combo to do the things it wants to do.
Yeah.
That's because you're not being judged by your combos here, mate. You're being judged by your thingy bobs.
I love this, that the last blow of the fight is zooms in, so you get the sickening
It's
elbow,
the kill cam.
elbow to the face. Look at that, Batman hurt his hand a little bit.
Jammed. We're stuck in here. Joker's in full control of the security gates.
Oh no.
I'll find a way out.
Joker's full control of something.
Try and contact the warden. Let him know what
Yeah,
happened.
Gordon and Warden rhyme.
So here we go. Like, this is one of the game's main conceits, is how Batman does stuff. So
Was it Assassin Vision or whatever they call it?
the detective vision,
yeah.
which
conceptually it's Eagle Vision from Assassin's
yeah,
Creed, but yes.
I both love and hate it. So like, obviously Batman's cowl does have something like this, and
Yeah.
like it's cool that they've got it, and I feel more like Batman for having it. But like, these environments are actually really well designed, and they look grimy and nice. But like, it puts this nasty blue filter over everything, and I feel
Yeah. Wraith mode.
it's breaking my immersion a little bit. Oh, look at that.
No, it's a trap.
Of course it is.
Thanks, Commissioner Akbar.
Oh, just like Commissioner Obvious or something sarcastic like that.
No. Let's have a look in here. So like, one thing the Detective Vision is good for, look at this, there's little things called Riddler trophies for your ship, which give me experience. If you unlock them all, there's like major benefits. I, of course, did unlock them all, which is why I knew that was there.
But we're not going to on this.
Absolutely not.
It'll be the same rules as Shadow of Mordor. Like, if we get stuff, we'll do it. Like, if it's there, we'll do it, certainly. But there's no attempt to 100% this in any... What the fuck?
The little Joker teeth, the little kind of Easter eggs, that if you destroy them again, it's experience and you unlock the challenges.
And make bats appear, apparently.
They're kind of... whenever you see bats appear like that, it's...
a combo. That you earning points.
It's XP,
yeah. Of course it is. Would you have bat experience? Because everything must be bat.
It does have to all be bat. I've got a Batman comic, like quite a dark one actually, where it features the efforts of the bat cow, because they're trying to test some new super virus, and they're testing it on like a bovine animal, and like the bat cow. It's kind of rad, actually. Oh, I can run. To hell with this.
I remember learning relatively recently that an officer's like personal assistant in the military used to be called a Batman.
Oh yeah, his batsman. Yeah. This is a very different kind of Batman. Oh look at that. The prisoners have already broken out.
Alfred makes a joke about that when he refers to himself as Batman's Batsman.
Brilliant. I love Alfred as a character.
Alfred is excellent when done well.
Come on, fight me. When do you think he's not done well, Sprite? And like, not that I necessarily disagree with you, but just curious.
So in the like original Tim Burton films, Alfred's wonderful as a character, but he's not a great Alfred. Alfred used to, help out, be involved, be more sassy.
What about Alfred from Gotham?
Whereas, Alfred in Gotham, he's maybe a little too sassy, but again, he's much more active. You can very much see how he would nurture a child who goes on to become Batman. Whereas Alfred in the Tim Burton films and later ones, he's very old and he's just a servant. And I feel that's selling short a lot of Alfred's care.
That's what I like that Gotham did. Like, you saw a bit more of the kind of slightly more active role of Alfred.
Yeah, it's something that's spelled out a lot more in the comics. Is like, it's strongly implied that Alfred's like background is in like intelligence.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he was an actor. And it's like, no, he fucking wasn't. He was military intelligence. And
Alfred the Butler was the inspiration for one of my favourite D&D characters I ever played. The idea was basically, it was based on the concept of like...
You're lucky to be alive.
Batman dies and Alfred takes up the mantle of Batman, which I'm pretty sure happens in the comics at some point.
Oh, it's definitely.
But it was that, but because it's D&D, it was about... This was basically like a kind of a vampire's assistant, like a kind of Lurch type character, who basically accidentally, during an experiment, inherited his master's dark powers. So he's like this old butler who's actually like an immortal vampire type.
Brilliant.
But he was disguised as this old man called Mr. Carson. It was one of my favourite characters to do.
Hear me? If you can, help's on the way.
I love the notion of like ye olde English butler, and I like that Alfred is still part of the Batman mythos. I think he might have been killed off recently in the comics, but I'm sure he'll be back because no one stays dead in comic books for any length of time.
What do we think of the fact that the Harley Quinn TV show wasn't allowed to show Batman going down on Catwoman because, and I quote, Batman doesn't do that?
No, the actual line was heroes don't do that.
There's a Harley Quinn TV show?
Oh yeah, they say...
What?
Oh, the animated show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's really good, genuinely.
Harley's a character we'll talk about at some length. She's a big part of this game.
So controversial. I'm not a big fan of Harley Quinn as a character, but that TV show is phenomenal.
He won't see me.
So we're not paying a lot of attention to what's happening, but like this is Victor Zsasz. He's like your standard run-of-the-mill kind of like gritty psychopath killer dude.
He's got a bit of a chain fetish as well by the looks of it.
I think he's meant to be straitjacketed, but seemingly he's got the means to electrocute this poor bastard, and we've got to get to him without revealing our presence.
Okay, so this is Let's Learn About Stealth.
Yes, precisely.
And Bones.
He's a more recent Batman villain, is Victor Zsasz.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've heard of him.
His gimmick is that he marks up his tally marks on his body for every life that he takes.
Classic.
Yes, so there is a way to get to him, I'm sure, that we will discover. Oh, the gargoyles. Your best friend.
What the hell kind of prison is this that has this many gargoyles?
It's an old Victorian building that's been taken over.
It's an asylum, Doctor. All asylums have to have ominous gargoyles. Don't you know that?
I think that's called staff.
I love the grappling hook in this, and I could just swing.
Absurd.
Really, Victor Zsasz didn't stand a whole... Oh, I'm going to glide kick the fuck out of him.
It's just fly it and just kick him in the head.
And then punch him with the balls. Look at that.
That was his
anus?
That
was his ass. He's face down, so you just punch him straight in the bum hole.
Well, here we go. Here's Harley.
Oh, hiya, B-Man. Harley
Harley Quinn, the
here.
character that drop-kicked a generation of young boys into puberty.
Pretty hot, huh? Ow,
I think this is. I
Really?
think. Don't quote me on this, but I think this voice actress is Tara Strong, who is the lady who played her in the animated series and who is terrific, and who's a wonderful person. It seems like.
I'm gonna check that. Not check that she's a wonderful person. Check whether it's her.
I've never been happier.
I think it is Tara Strong.
I'll trust you on that because you got one. You got most of them weirdly correct for Shadow of Mordor.
You have one chance to survive.
It's a shame actually because obviously when they cast live action Harley Quinn, Tara Strong is actually about the same age as Jared Leto, and she looks great, and she's age appropriate for Jared Leto, who's in his 40s playing the Joker. But no, Margot Robbie, that's who we had to go with.
I mean, I won't say no to Margot Robbie in general.
Okay,
Conceptually.
I wouldn't say no to Margot Robbie either, but the problem is she's she's age appropriate, so she's not appropriate for Hollywood.
Yeah,
and that's the issue.
Yeah. It's a shame because
the problem is Jared Leto.
Jared Leto is very much the problem in many
Apparently, it's
things.
Arleen Sorkin who voices Harley Quinn.
Oh, I take it all back. Could you check if am I right in thinking Tara Strong is the right actress who played Harley in the animated series?
It's just a diversion to keep.
Yeah, she was in Batman Beyond. She was the voice of Harley Quinn. This one. And she seems to be the modern voice of Harley Quinn for quite some time.
Okay.
And Superman the animated series. No, she was the one she is the one from Batman the animated series.
Oh.
Arleen Sorkin. So who the fuck are you talking about? What was the name you said?
Tara Strong. I'm maybe just getting the name completely mixed up. But that's nice that it's the same actress, because I'm pretty certain that, in fact I know this for a fact, that Harley was created for Batman the animated series.
Yeah.
She was meant to be a bit character, but she was such a fan favourite that they went, fuck it, we'll keep going. And then she ended up in the comics from the TV series.
Which
I love
is
that.
really cool.
Tara Strong is Barbara Gordon / Batgirl. In Batman Adventures, Teen Titans, all that shit.
There we go. So I'm getting my voice actresses a little confused. My apologies, viewership. My knowledge, unlike Batman's, is not perfect.
You know the rules. Surrender the controller. You've had your moment in the sun.
Yes, my Batman trivia failed me. Thus,
That's like get the controller as a trophy.
To be fair, if you fail in Batman trivia, what are you good for?
I know. My Batman trivia is pretty good. This is quite. It's kind of creepy. You can see their skeletons.
Yeah, it's all very bony.
And then they all die because of spooky Joker gas.
What is that stuff?
Joker toxin. Listen,
Thank you, Batman.
The room is full of poison gas.
Is that like Dr. Toxin?
Hey, I'm not that bad.
Doctor.
Give me the news I got. Bad case to love me.
Precisely. There's one of my favourite alternate universe Batman called the Batman Who Laughs. Who go and Google a picture of a viewership. He's terrifying. He looks kind of like a bondage metal version of Batman, which is, well, I think it's rad. But he's basically a Batman who gets infected with Joker toxin. So he's all
Jesus
Batman.
Christ, he looks like the mouth of Sauron.
Yeah, he's kind of terrifying. He's like an alt-universe version of Batman who gets infected with Joker toxin and ends up conquering his planet in 12 days, effectively. Oh, look at Batman saving people! Because Batman's a hero, kids!
Heroes apparently don't perform cunnilingus.
No, Batman is a hero, but not a generous lover.
Did you see that controversy?
I didn't actually. This is news to me.
There's a scene where there was a scene that Warner Brothers asked them to cut that was Batman going down on Catgirl because, quote, heroes don't do that.
Catgirl or Catwoman? Nice.
Catwoman, yeah.
Well, here we go.
But they left it kind of in there. It's still hinted at.
I don't know what to make of that.
Well, he's rubbing her feet instead.
Yeah, but it's there's an implication.
If you didn't know that story, I don't think you'd clock it.
Because of the implication. Here we go. Oh, I'm even rescued the criminals, but then I was about to punch him really hard. There we go. The Dark Knight.
You're right. Morality!
The Dark Knight giveth and he taketh away. Okay, puzzle. Some of the puzzles in this game were actually pretty good, so I think I need to power up the fans that takes away the Joker gas.
I'm a real fan of that.
Jesus Christ.
Are you becoming the Joker the longer into this we go?
I mean, what, 20 minutes in? This is the first episode, presumably.
Oh, here we go. There seems to be a target reticle or some kind of... Oh no, it's one of the Joker. It's the Joker.
Oh,
teeth.
yeah.
Here's a cool conceit though. So the game doesn't let you do things that would actually punk Batman. So if I just drop down here, I have the option just to escape and fly back up because Batman would never go out like a little bitch that way.
Fair, yeah.
It's like in the first Prince of Persia when he's like, no, that's not how it happened.
Yeah. It's a similar narrative conceit actually, which I do like. I also like it in Prince of Persia. Right, so I think I need to follow these power lines to... I'm assuming there's a big button or something that I can press.
It does look that way, doesn't it?
Let's fly down here. Or, sorry, glide. Batman doesn't fly. There we go.
Bats famously don't fly.
There's the big button.
Okay, you realise he is a man who dresses up as a bat. He's not a bat.
I can see that.
There is actually one of his villains who I think there's a bio and some trophies and stuff for him in this game
Man-Bat.
called Man-Bat.
Yeah.
Who is more of a bat?
He's
Yeah.
quite a tragic figure, actually. I think it's the classic scientist running out of time or money, chooses to experiment on himself, and accidentally turns himself into a man-bat.
Yeah, I think it's one of the first, if not the first episode of the animated series is with Man-Bat.
Yeah, he's
definitely very early on.
He's very early on, which is... I like him as a villain. He's fine, I guess. He's not one of the A-tier Batman.
Yeah, it's just Batman's attempt at the Lizard, basically, from Spider-Man.
Yeah, precisely.
Similar concept.
This game still looks good. Like, this is better looking than I remember it, but of course that's the texture pack, I assume.
And I assure you I haven't done the Dawn of War thing and accidentally made it insane difficult.
Well, I'll tell you, the first time I go up against like any more than a couple of Joker thugs, when they beat me to death with their bare hands. We were talking about like this henchman phenomenon earlier on before, when we were off camera viewership, that like after all these henchmen just watched Batman decimate dozens and dozens of their buddies, they think I'm the guy who's going to take... Oh!
Yeah.
He almost did get me!
See? And, right, so I was saying that the issue there is they're trying to grind you down. Like, you're one person and you're fighting, 100, 400, 1,000 people to the death or to the knockout. And you're getting more and more tired, you're getting more and more thing, and there's no way you can be prepared for everyone's fighting style. And it's the Vimes thing. They just have to get lucky once. You have to get lucky every time.
You say Vimes. That's not from Terry Pratchett. You've quoted the IRA there.
No, it's Vimes.
No, it's not. It's a
well,
quote.
Vimes does say that.
It is a direct quote by the IRA about Margaret Thatcher.
They only have to get
but
lucky
they did
once.
not. They did not succeed.
Yeah. It was after they blew up the hotel in Brighton, but she'd gone for an early morning walk at 5 a.m.
Yeah, it's because she was a psychopath.
And she basically said, I was pretty lucky today, and the IRA said,
oh, here we go.
We only have to be lucky once, you have to be lucky every time.
Yes.
There's no escape, Joker.
Because there's the whole thing of that ended up on an inspirational poster with a photo of Margaret Thatcher, and people are like, that was the IRA's threat to her.
Speaking of, like, great villainy, look at this bad boy.
That does look a lot like Margaret Thatcher.
It does.
Yeah.
So we'll learn more about these guys as they come on, but Joker's got some mutant dudes that Batman's got to fight.
Yeah.
I wonder how we'll defeat him.
See, I quite liked how Shadow of Mordor, subverted that thing of like, oh, you really think you're going to be the orc that kills this? And it's like, yes, sometimes that was, and they got fucking drunk on the power from being the orc that killed.
Yeah, that is pretty
the
cool,
Wraith.
actually. Right, special unblockable grab and throw after achieving a combo of 8. Nah, not interested in that. Not available.
Oh, is this like a skill tree thing?
Yeah, and some of the upgrades are actually very powerful in Shadow of Mordor style.
Yeah.
So I can get more armor. I think I'm okay. I can't unlock any of this yet. Batarang power, twin Batarangs. I wish I can get triple Batarangs, Doctor. Isn't
That's
that fun?
absurd.
The remote control Batarang is also rad.
Oh, yes.
Well, it's not like a little tiny drone.
Yeah, you can also fly it basically infinitely. You can go like from one side of the island to the other. And it's necessary to unlock some of the more complicated puzzles.
That's absurd.
It's actually very difficult to control.
I can imagine, yes.
I want this one that lets me drop down and like
abduct people.
Because it looks great and I love it. Okay, now we gotta fight this fool. Batarang!
Nope. That did nothing.
Oh, he's
Clearly,
gonna throw that man at me!
You need to learn how to dodge before you can actually fight him.
Come on, you. Run at me. There we go.
That cape is so impractical. It's like below his floor level. He gets tripped on it all the time. No capes.
Oh. But it looks cool.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters to Batman.
Yep. And his legions of adoring 15-year-old boy fans, including the bar.
Batman is not just for 15-year-old boys. Grown men can like Batman, and that's okay.
Yeah, I don't want to encourage people to think that you're a grown man.
Just so we're clear, women are also allowed to like Batman, as are young girls.
I'm surprised that like more women don't, because like I mean, Batman is ripped. Like, who wouldn't like Batman? Other than like he's a violent sociopath, I suppose.
Most people who like most girls who like Batman tend to like Catwoman more. Or me, Poison Ivy.
I can understand that too.
Yeah, you got strong Poison Ivy vibes.
She will also be making an appearance in this game. Most of the A-listers will, but there's some who are conspicuously absent. But thankfully, Ivy is in the game.
There's no Condiment King.
There is no Condiment
King. How dare you?
There's also no Firefly. There's no
Kite Man.
Oh, is that it? He's just going to expire.
Oh yeah. Him right in his brain.
Lucky you found it, really.
That's horrifying. I've heard it said that like this game is basically a survival horror game, and it kind of is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Need stronger test subjects. seeing as how I'm feeling generous, I'll give you this one for free. Knock me off, I dare you. End this. Pull the plug. Stop me once and for all.
So Batman's absolutely going to do this, I assume.
No, but he thinks about it for just a little bit.
Oh, you're getting too predictable, Bats.
Getting?
Well, I'd love to stay and chat, but I have a party to organize. I've got guests flying in from all over Arkham. You'll see.
Cool shot. Awesome opener. Mark Hamill in peak form.
Yeah,
Love it.
He's just. I'm not even sure again whether he's acting or they just put in front of a microphone and said to do things.
I think he'd like in real life. He's a lovely, lovely man. Mark
Yes.
Hamill. Like, he
I've
seems
always
like a
heard that,
very
yeah.
wholesome family man. And then, I mean, not that family men can't be bad people, but he seems like a nice guy.
Apparently, it was a big thing in like getting the dynamic right for the original, like Batman the animated series. Is they were quite unusual in that they had Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill record their lines together at the same time.
Yeah.
And so they can kind of play off each other's energy.
Should we talk? Is it too early to talk about Kevin Conroy?
Yeah, man, we can.
Never too early to talk about Kevin.
I don't think we're not drinking yet, and I'd like to toast to Kevin Conroy. But just a brief synopsis, viewership. The voice actor who's voicing Batman in this game and in the animated series and in lots of the DC animated movies and a whole host of Batman media is Kevin Conroy, who is the best Batman voice. Some people say he is just flat out the best Batman, and I'd be inclined to agree, but
Me too.
at the time of recording a couple of weeks ago, very sadly, Kevin Conroy passed away. We're all quite sad about it. Like, one of my childhood heroes. So maybe this is a nice way to honour his memory, but he's rad. Great voice actor. And radio DJ, apparently.
Huh.
Not for long.
I think it's like, you'd be surprised the overlap there, because lots of voice actors have tremendous, just listenable voices.
Yeah.
And like voice acting's not a particularly steady gig, but radio disc jockeying is.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy betrayed Gordon!
No.
Officer Bowles.
I love the laugh.
I see you trying to follow me. He dies. Harley's looking forward to it. Maybe I'll film it and post it on the internet.
Brilliant.
We got modern Joker. He's learned how YouTube works.
There's actually like
Slash TikTok
I think in some of the later, I think in the sequel to this game, when you're trying to solve the Riddler puzzles, Riddler taunts you by saying, "Are you looking these up on the internet?" And of course, you the player, absolutely are, because they're commercially difficult to solve.